Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, friends. This is Lamar Phillips, and I'll be talking to you today about Voyager reading programs. Before I start, just quickly, I think about the song by Stevie Wonder, Love in Need of Love Today, and it starts off, Good morning or evening, friends. It's your friendly announcer, and he talks about the different things going on in the world at that time, and that was done in the 70s. Here we are much later, now in the 2020s, and still love and need of love today. And I appreciate being in this course because I'm seeing a lot of people with a lot of passion and love for their students, starting with our instructor and all of my classmates. So thank you for your time and your love of what you do. Being an inclusive instructor means a lot, especially to an artist such as myself, African American male in special ed, which I know is rare. I just wanted to speak on that. I chose the Voyager reading program, one, because we're running out of options, but as I looked, I wanted to find something that addressed not just kindergarten, second, or third grade, but went the entire gamut of K-12. And so beginning with the Voyager reading program, the Voyager Universal Literacy System is designed for K-3, and it speaks directly to core reading curriculum. It has a progress monitoring system, identifies struggling readers, and has intervention protocols with extended instruction going into summer school as well. They also provide professional development for teachers, specialists, and administrators, as well as have a home-based portion as well, and strictly computer-based. So I guess it has both hands-on with textbooks and all of that stuff, and I'll get to the textbook portion later. But the computer-based part is helpful as well. It goes over phonological skills as well. It addresses comprehension, fluency, language development, individual instruction, and higher level comprehension as well. What I noticed as well is it goes into problem solving, as well as having a whole group, small group, and individual study as well. The assessments are bi-weekly and also quarterly, so it's constant formative assessment and information for teachers and specialists. So I'm gathering, and there are not as many details as I would like, but I'm gathering because there is intervention and progress on every level, that this is designed specifically for people with learning disabilities or struggling. But the whole group and small group instruction also lets me know that they related back and forth to each. The next portion of it is the Voyager Passport Plus, which is for K-5. The first one was K-3 specifically. This is K-5, and they all be done this way. They function prioritize on sight words, letter and sound recognition, and sight words, word list. Each one of those is broken up to 30 to 40-minute lessons, and there are 120 lessons divided over 10-day increments. So it's throughout the whole year and summer. Now, for middle school and high school, they're the Voyager Passport reading journeys. The first one has those reading portions set up as adventures. At this level, they're set up as expeditions, and they're more specific to science and social studies. And we may all know that usually reading and math, general reading, math, ELA, and math get the majority of the attention. But looking into high school, middle school, and high school, it is much more compartmentalized, and there's not as much attention on social studies and science, and they still have to be tested on that on the state standardized test. So those are 50-minute lessons in the 120 lessons divided up as well. Now, about this particular, and I don't want to go too long, about this particular program, there was not a lot of evidence that meets the criteria for the What Works study. And I think the reason for that, out of Texas, Florida, and New York, where a lot of the studies were, there are not enough special needs students, specific learning disorder students, they have to have enough of them to meet the criteria. So that's probably the problem. The concentration here is 80% African American students, 50 to almost 60% male, 87% free and reduced lunch. So it's a highly challenged area that they use these results in. However, in several dissertations and independent studies, countywide studies, it seems that there's some traction or benefit to using these. It just doesn't meet the criteria of this particular study. It costs, I told you earlier about a class set, it's about $3,000 for a class set of material, and it breaks down further than that to about $70 per child. There's an additional cost for that follow-up with consultants and everything. There's professional development for the teachers. So I think it's pretty comprehensive. If I were an administrator, I would be interested in it, but I would have to see other studies and maybe see the reports from other school districts, not just studies of empirical data from a collegiate or university level through dissertations. But I would want to know what several districts are actually working with and how their scores have improved. So it's an interesting set of programs that runs the gamut of K-12, dealing with general education whole group all the way down to individualized. And there's a solo project that they have as well. With the middle and high schools, they take 4 days of instruction dealing with it, and then they have 1 day that they just work alone. But I would want to look specifically into this and maybe try it in summer school, try it, those small trial to see if it works before spending that type of money. If it doesn't have the evidence-based research for this clearinghouse, but I would look at what other hands-on districts are saying. In Florida, New York, and Texas are really pretty big states with indicators of what people can use, especially in that population, and that's the population that I serve mostly. But it seems like it can be used in any population, and we know struggling readers come in all shapes and sizes and backgrounds. Anyway, thank you guys. It was pretty lengthy, but I hope it was helpful.